This is Ashton Markus, and I'm on location at the Met Theater in Hollywood for their presentation of We Are Not These Hands. Hi, my name is Ashton Markus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
This is Heather Tyler. This year I've produced 4 shows for Rogue Machine Theater for the Fringe Festival. The first one that premiered tonight was In the Valley of the Shadow by Catherine Cortez. And it's a piece that was inspired by the Pulse Orlando nightclub shooting a year ago. It's very moving. It is still carrying a message of hope, and love is love is love is love is the main theme.
For my viewers who aren't familiar with this, what is the Fringe Festival anyway?
The Hollywood Fringe Festival is the entire month of June on Santa Monica Boulevard in Hollywood. Walk down the street, look at any theater, or really just look around you, and you will see hundreds and thousands of performing artists and patrons, audience members, walking in to see a myriad of shows. A lot of world premieres, a lot of one-person shows, a lot of comedies, a lot of dramas, a lot of ensembles. It crosses all genres. And unlike other festivals, nothing is curated, so anybody can bring anything. You can get a whole myriad of different types of performances in one evening.
You know, I was recently doing an interview. During the interview, I actually said, you know, I've never seen a bad performance at this theater before, ever. And someone actually asked me a question. They said, is that really true? You've never seen a bad performance? How is that possible? The reason is because they've never done an original piece there. They always do classical pieces, either Shakespeare or Ibsen or something that won a Pulitzer Prize. And obviously it's going to be fantastic, but it's almost impossible for me to say something like that for a theater that does original work. So my question is, why should someone do original work when they can actually do performances that, you know, they just never do a bad performance?
Well, okay, I come from the world of Chicago theater, where we did a lot of original plays. And when I first came out of college and went into that world, I had the same point of view. I was always like, why are you always doing new plays? Because we have something that's tried and true. Why don't we just redo this? And it was explained to me, we're in contemporary society. There are so many stories to tell, so many different points of view. That would be like, you know, Shakespeare redoing a Greek play, and that's all that he would ever want to do over and over again. Obviously, the same themes can be relevant in each of those, you know, from Greeks to Shakespeare to anything that even Tom Stoppard would do. But the point of doing something new is that you have to explore what's relevant either right now, or even if it's a period piece but it's new, looking back at what's relevant today that resonated then and now and again in the future. And it's taking a big risk, and isn't that the point of art?
I agree. Basically, it's, first of all, it's of the moment, because art itself, every theater piece, you have to kind of look at it from when it was originated. We actually are living in very interesting times, and that should be documented. It will produce a tremendous amount of work, and it actually is very relevant for our times right now.
Yeah, I love that you said that. Right now is so rich with, I mean, let me give you an example. We went out to select, I talked to John Perrin Flynn, the artistic director of this company, and we went out to select pieces for the Fringe. And we really just cast our net within the company to say who has something that they're really committed and passionate about doing. It could be your own work, it could be someone else's work, it could be a produced play. What's resonating with you right now? And look at the themes that we got back and that we're producing. First of all, they're all women-generated pieces. All 4 of these plays were written by women. Now, why is that? Right now, women have a voice. They want to be heard, and the voices are very different in these plays. There's the LGBT point of view. There's the college assault, college rape issue in the interference. There is this dystopian society with Sheila Callahan trying to figure out what life means in this consumer-driven society, and is there a better place across the river? And then there is, in our one-woman show, The Pleasure Project, you know, what can save humanity? Maybe it's just the female person, persona, body part, just having fun, just to have pleasure. So very diverse points of view, but the point is it's a ripe time for people whose voices haven't been expressed on stage and in our media, film and television. Right now is when we want that to happen. People of all colors, people of all persuasions, and in our case, a lot of women.
One thing I do have to compliment this theater, Rogue Machine, is, again, I see a lot of good work here. Even though a lot of it is original work, I see a lot of good work. I see other theaters like that also. Does it matter if you go to the Fringe Festival which theater you go to? Because, again, of all the theaters I've been to, I'm very impressed by several of them. They just do very good work.
Yeah, Fringe is a little bit different in that a lot of your resident companies will give up this period of time to host or to be a venue for other artists. So, for example, I'm also an associate member at Sacred Fools, and I produced a Fringe show there last year. They have a fantastic new space on Santa Monica where they have 4 different stages, but they take this time off of their own main stage work and they become a venue. And so they're also not curating these pieces, they're just providing a community and a home and a warm atmosphere for these artists to come in. So you can see a multitude of shows there, including even their awesome late night running series, Serial Killers, at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. And then you can turn around and you can see a Shakespeare play, or you could see a dance piece. So to answer your question, any theater is going to have something new and bold and inventive, and if it's their own work mixed in, as we do here at Rogue Machine, I think all the better.
Well, I really enjoyed, at least the film, I really enjoyed the theater piece I saw tonight. It's one that you produced. Yeah, and I really enjoyed our talk also. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Hi, my name is Ashton Markus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with?
Larry Biederman, Irvine graduate. I directed We Are Not These Hands by Sheila Callahan.
Great. So what drew you to this piece?
Well, I directed Sheila Callahan's work before, a play called Crumble or Lay Me Down, Justin Timberlake, and this was about in 2006, and I just had such a great experience working with her and her poetry and her theatricality, and I just love that she creates things that are uniquely theatrical that can't be depicted in any other medium, and that's really what I love about her work.
I thought this piece in particular was actually very, very out there. Being taken to another world, a world in which is kind of a caricature of the world we live in right now.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm glad that's what you got, because I think we're taking. Reminding people that these are realities that are going on all the time right now, but we're trying to deliver that in a theatrical way. So I think your assessment is correct.
Also, the actors. I have to compliment you on your actors because they're actually pulling into another world. I actually once saw a piece in which they were trying to take us to another universe, and I told my viewers, you have to bring your imagination, because how can you draw another universe? I mean, this isn't a movie. We can't just show 2 moons or something like that, and suddenly you think you're like on another planet. But this one here is the same thing. You're being brought into another reality, but they actually were very successful at it. So I have to compliment you on that.
I appreciate that, and it's a real challenge for actors because they really do have to paint imagery, and their only apparatus is the language. And so it's a credit to Sheila that her language activates that kind of imagery, but also that the actors are so agile in keeping the audience engaged, because that's a lot of talking.
So what do you look for in your casting anyway?
Actors that are willing to be uncomfortable. I mean, I think all of these actors are willing to go to uncomfortable places, and I think that's what audiences want to see people who are willing to go places and show aspects of humanity that they wouldn't otherwise be willing to reveal. So I think that's how empathy is created, and I think that's what we respect about actors, is their willingness to go where we would rather not.
I once interviewed someone recently, and I told her that, you know, I've never seen a bad show at this theater before. And someone actually asked me, how is that possible? How come you've never seen a bad show at this theater? The reason was because, well, not this theater, but another theater. The reason was because they've never shown an original piece before. It's always classics. It's Shakespeare or Ibsen or Pulitzer Prize winning, but, you know, extremely well-known piece that no one has heard about, you know. So my question is, why do original pieces? I mean, you know, I can't really say that to a theater that actually does a lot of original pieces, that I've never seen a bad show. Why do original pieces?
Well, I guess, I mean, that's sort of like saying, would you like TV to be reruns forever? Do you only want to watch shows you've seen already on TV? And some people might answer yes, but I don't think art is an evolving art form. A form of expression. So I don't think it's art if it doesn't evolve and change, and tastes change and styles change. And I think some of the reason we respect Shakespeare is because he's representative of time. And so I think of art as a time capsule for the context in which it was created.
Well, tonight's piece I really loved. I really liked it. It was, you know, it's very avant-garde. You know, it's very out there. So again, very challenging, very edgy, and all that. But again, also very good acting, very good theater, also.
Well, thank you so much. It's really been an honor to work with writers and actors of this caliber, and also to work at this theater. It's a really nurturing theater and an adventurous theater, and we're lucky to be hosted by them.
Once again, I really enjoyed the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
Hi, my name is Ashton Markus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Albert Dan. I'm an actor in We Are Not These Hands by Sheila Callahan at Rogue Machine. I've been doing theater mostly in Los Angeles and regionally for maybe 25, 30 years. I play Leather. He is, as Sheila describes him in the script, he is a sort of waterfall of language. He is, God, what is my take on Leather? That's a tough question. He is someone who has, sort of his life has collapsed around him, and he's gone kind of into the wilds seeking some kind of redemption. And I don't know that he finds it, but he makes a lot of mistakes along the way, but he's doing his best to connect with another human being, I guess. That's a random answer, but that was my best.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
They should expect to see a prescient piece about the sort of crushing wheel of capitalism, the sort of march of capitalism, and they should expect to see a funny, moving, thought-inducing piece about what is and what can be in the future of this country and the world we're living in right now.
Well, what I thought it was very avant-garde. So again, do expect that.
Sure,
it's not, you know, it's not really black and white. It's actually very many shades of gray, and actually tells you a bit about society, where it could be, and all that. But actually, what I really liked about it was the acting. I mean, there were very edgy characters. They were very, very larger-than-life characters, and they actually presented their point of view in a very dramatic way.
Oh, cool! Yeah, you know, I mean, it's Sheila in her writing kind of sets this it's like these impossible people, and these impossible stakes, and these impossible circumstances, and it's such a great challenge as an actor to commit to those things, and bring those unique, bizarre people to life in a way that hopefully is recognizable to regular people like us, you know?
Well, I definitely love your acting. I love the acting. I loved your acting.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I love the acting in the entire cast. Again, the story was very, very up there. It was but again, I like that kind of stories. I like being pushed. I like being challenged and all that. Great. So again, if my viewers do come to see it, first of all, I really enjoyed it. The story will be very challenging for you. But again, that's theater. If you want to go to really, really good theater, you're going to be challenged. You're going to leave and you're going to think, what did I see? was it about this? I know it was about that, and I definitely know it was about that. But what's this Dale Gray stuff? And you'll be thinking about that for a while. That's what I love about this.
Yeah, you know, I had a friend of mine. Your viewers will see, if they come see the show, they'll see for my character, I've got some crazy line learning to do for this show. And I had a friend who ran lines with me. And just from that experience, she called me back the next day and said, my God, I've been thinking and thinking and thinking about this play. Like, I went home, I talked to my husband about it. Like, you know, I'm still figuring out and chewing on it, like, you know, 2, 3, 4 days later. And I think that's the experience I think we hope to give with this thing, is that it stays with you. And yeah, it's not all like crystal clear right in the moment in every way, but that it gives you something to kind of sit with and think about and make you bigger, make you fuller in your understanding of the world, I hope.
Once again, I really enjoyed myself. Thank you very much for being on the show.
You bet, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Markus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Cecily Glushevich. I'm originally from LA, and just recently graduated from college in Vermont, Middlebury. I played Moth.
What's your take on Moth?
Oh gosh, I have a lot of feelings about it, but basically it's a really dark, I mean it's a very dark play, and what she's been through in terms of like her relationships with men and the exploitation of this world is so extreme, and it's a very complicated play because she does end up having this relationship with a way older guy. But in a lot of ways, he's like a good thing for her, and you know, it's very complicated. So yes, very dark play, lots of issues, and yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed the play. Again, it was very challenging issues and all that. Definitely for adults, because again,
definitely for adults.
Yeah, definitely not. Even though your character is somewhat childish, I would say, in the way that she presented herself, but it was a very adult play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So how was that? How could you possibly play almost a childlike character, yet in an adult world?
Well, the thing is, she's very innocent. I mean, they're both innocent and like way too experienced for how old they are. Like they've seen too much, you know. But on the other hand, I don't know. I guess I disagree. I think she is very grown up in her way. You know, like they've seen so much, and what they have to live through. They're basically just surviving every day. So, so she is grown up to me. So maybe I'm just childish. I don't know. But she has never seen things, like she's never heard music, she's never smoked a cigarette, so in that way there is a lot of innocence there in terms of that everything is new to her.
A bit of a feral child, because in a sense she was 15, so maybe 15 going on 30.
Yeah,
something like that.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Well, I really love the acting, because again, that's a very challenging role to do a piece like that, and also, you know, it's a very dark play, very left with a lot of interpretation in what was said in their ideas, and I'm actually still thinking about the videos that were shown and what they meant. So that's gonna be with me for a while. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been we feel like really lucky that it all turned out the way it did. It's been sort of a beautiful experience, and getting the cast and all the people that did all that. Michelle, who did all the videos for us, is just fantastic. So we feel like so lucky that it turned out this way. Yeah.
Well, once again, I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
I'm very glad.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Markus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Emily James. I'm 23 years old, and I'm an actress in Los Angeles, and I play Belly in this play. I think she's someone who's been abused a lot, but is very hopeful and is kind of a warrior in her own mind, and keeps fighting despite the worst circumstances, like absolute worst. And she's like an 80-year-old woman and a 5-year-old at the same time because of what she's experienced, but she doesn't have the capacity to understand it all. And I love her very much.
Yeah, I really love the way you played that character, like a feral feral child.
Yeah.
Like grown in the wild, didn't know how to interact with things, but actually was very competent in many ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I actually have a fascination with feral children, and I've played a couple of them, and I've read about them a lot, so that's probably where that came out.
If my viewers decide to come and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Expect to see a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, I thought the play was very dark at times, and again, talked a lot about economics and a lot about sociology and all that, and also a bit about about human nature on what would happen if, I guess, society were going through an apocalypse or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are all throughout, which is kind of relevant right now, actually. And a lot of people have been having apocalyptic thoughts, so that's why it's so interesting to be playing this. And the circumstances aren't unlike a lot of things that are going on in the world, like especially what's been going on in Syria for the past 6 years. So, yeah, it is a science fiction take on everything, but I think it's still very relevant, very real.
I also have to compliment the actors. I thought the actors did a very fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
Because in a sense, you have to pull yourself to another world, and first of all, I've never been in a world like that. I'm not sure if you've ever been in a world like that. So how can an actor really pull you into something like that if neither one of us have actually been there?
Well, once you start imagining it, you start to see that that world does exist everywhere, and that's what I've started to notice before. It is really hard to get into it, but once you understand the struggle for just a moment, you start to see that what's the difference between them and homeless people in the streets of LA, or people who've been abandoned, or people that are trapped, addicted to drugs, that are stuck. They're just people that are stuck. And I think that exists everywhere. And so I've kind of just been tapping into that, and then also doing a ton of research on people in other places besides the United States where they're actually in circumstances like this.
Once again, I really love the performance, and I loved your performance in particular. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Take care.
We Are Not These Hands will be playing at the Met Theater in Hollywood from June 2nd to June 24th. For more information, go to www.hollywoodfringe.org/projects/4739.